Any questions? Anybody got any questions or comments or anything? Professor Humphrey got a hold of this.
I know, she's getting
No, I don't. I'm surprised they're quiet. Normally they're attacking me. Normally they're attacking me, Joe.
I would like to maybe just pose one more question to see if we agree on this point that the stories that the three of us just shared, that that's a further perpetuation of white supremacy. I would like to see how we navigate that, or if we believe it is, or how that's resolved. Because I know that I myself have said, you know what, I just can't get away with it. So it's my job to talk to white folks, and hopefully if I talk to enough white folks, or if we hopefully talk to enough white folks, we can learn to teach us to get us up out the way and support any movement that is anti-white supremacy.
Right. Let me respond to that. That's exactly the thing. We have to, one of the beautiful things about having a class like Dimensions of Racism is, maybe not for y'all because it's an art class, I gotta take an art class. And I know almost nobody in this class wants to take this class. It fits your schedule, it worked out well, you have to take it to graduate, for most of you. Not all of you, and that's okay. You know, it doesn't matter. If you're here, you're gonna do the work, and that's cool. But the fact is, what's good for having this class is, especially as a white person in black studies, is that it's always gonna be about race. Because you can take an R class in this campus, like, even in the English department, race, you know, an R class, or race class in English. And I got news for you. You ain't interrogating race. You're interrogating race when it comes, because you might read some black authors and what they say about it, but you're not confronted with the deconstruction or even somewhat of a scratching of the surface of white supremacy the way you are in this class, this course, okay? And as a white person, I have to ease into it at the beginning of the semester, because I know a lot of people ain't here because they want to be here. But I still got to teach the class. And I have a role in black studies because I get to speak to the white students. Because for black people, this is preaching to the choir. Right? Hell yeah, it is. You may learn some new words and, oh, I didn't know that in particular. But this is preaching to the choir for blacks. This ain't for black people. This is for white people. Okay? But they're going to put, white people, you got to take the Dimensions of Racism class. No, because nobody would sign up for it. So I get to ease into it, and I actually do in class say, later on in the semester, just me being a man, a white man, being seen as legitimate, as an authoritative voice on whatever subject, is a form of white privilege, and it's an expression of white supremacy. And I actually point that out to students. So I do call it out. I have to ultimately reject it verbally to white people. I have to reject my white supremacy, my privilege. But the thing is, I got to do it in a way and at a particular time where I don't turn off that many people. And I may have turned some people off in this class. But you know what? It's not my role to make you feel comfortable. That's Dr. Humphrey's role. Okay? But
You make me the mammy?
yeah, no, the good cop. I'm the bad cop. But you know, I mean, really, what it comes down to is that I appreciated you guys being here and sticking it out and listening to this, because, you know, sometimes we like to hear ourselves talk. But I have to reject my male privilege, my heterosexual privilege, and my racial privilege, straight up. And I have to verbalize it, because I have to let people know I'm not down with it. I know it exists, but I'm not down with it.
I have a question. When you say this class is not like for black people, like like the white people have to take it and the black people don't have to take it, like what do you mean? Like,
no, I don't mean that black people don't have to take it, but white people do. What I mean is, if you're black in America, chances are you know that this is a racist country. You can get to this class and you may not have known all the particular examples that identify a deep structure, whether it be legalistically, economically, or politically. But for the most part, if you're in this country and you're black, you understand that there's a fundamental difference between the lives of blacks and whites, and that's based on white supremacy. So the class may enhance your knowledge of it, but you're not blind to it. For white people, this class is really, for most of us, an opportunity to say, wow, this is not the country I thought it was. So this becomes almost a form of intervention for white people, okay? And ultimately, in a sexist society, who's the offender in a sexist society, men or women? Men. If men don't stop being sexist, it doesn't matter how much women do to protect themselves and overcome that oppression, there will always be a sexism problem, right? Right. In a racist society, if white people, who's the major offender? Whites. If white people don't stop being racist and offending, it doesn't matter. Blacks can do everything they want to maintain stability and survival, but ultimately, it's a Band-Aid on a really big problem. That's why this course is so important, that I believe. And some people may resist the content. I'm not saying anybody in this class, I'm saying I've taught this course like 8 times. And every semester, I get people who resist it. And the people who resist it on a content level are white people, plain and simple. And it's usually white men. They don't want to confront this thing. They think, oh, I'm a bleeding heart liberal. What's my problem? Listen, I ain't got no liberal guilt. Don't buy that crap. I got no white liberal guilt. I'm guilty when I don't reject my male privilege, when I don't reject my white privilege. That's when I'm guilty, okay? But I ain't guilty for what my ancestors did. But I have to own my reality now and have to work to make it a better country. And when y'all are on notice that this is a racist country, you can either passively participate or actively work to overthrow it. And for some white people, that's the white privilege. I can say, it doesn't exist, it's no big deal, it doesn't exist. And that way I can passively participate and not interrogate and look to see what role I played in this oppressive system.